Hey guys, Hamsterwheel here with a new video, and not too long ago I got this brand new druid to max level. So today we're going to address the gear situation and turn this Boomkin from a 0 into a hero. Right now I have nothing but random green items, a measly 8,303 spell power and an average item level of 397. Also, when I do a little DPS test, I'm barely able to do 18,000 DPS. Yeah, lots of room for improvement, so without further ado, let's get started. Now all this is taking place on Stormforge's Mr. Pandaria server, and recently they released patch 5.4, which means the Timeless Isle is finally unlocked. And there's no doubt that the Timeless Isle is the fastest and quickest way to gear up a fresh max level character. So basically what we're doing here is going after all of the chests here, which all have a chance of dropping epic tokens that transform into epic items with an item level of 496, which will provide a massive upgrade for my little balanced druid. After going over most of the Timeless Isle, I got a decent amount of epic tokens, and by just doing that we were able to bump up the average item level of our druid from 397 to a more respectable 443. I also decided to buy this epic item level 476 ring off the auction house, which only cost 400 gold, so I couldn't pass that up as it's a very big upgrade. And now that we have a half decent average item level, I can start queuing for scenarios, more specifically the Arena of Annihilation. The reason we're doing this specific scenario is because the quest here gives us a blue item level 450 weapon, and since our current weapon only has an item level of 408, this is again a pretty significant upgrade. And after completing it, we now have a decent blue staff, and our total spell power goes up from 12,288 to a respectable 14,054 spell power. Up next we're going to the Temple of the White Tiger to do the quest here, because this allows us access to the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, which is where the main hub is for this expansion. As in, Shathra was the main hub in the Burning Crusade, Dalaran was the main hub in Wrath Lich King, and this is basically the main hub in Mr. Pandaria. So after a couple of minutes we completed the quest, and now we have access to the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. And more importantly, because we can now go to the main Horde hub, I'm able to get the flying skill, which makes traveling around Pandaria a whole lot easier. And now that we have flying, we can go back to the Timeless Isle for one more item, which is the Burden of Eternity. The Burden of Eternity allows you to transform one epic gear token and increase its item level to 535. In order to do that, we just fly up to the edge of the Timeless Isle, we drop down into this base, and very quickly loot the chest that is here. And with that, we now have some awesome item level 535 epic shoulders. Alright, next up we're going to tackle the pre-quest for the Isle of Thunder. We're doing this because the Isle of Thunder offers a couple of dailies which either provide you with some valor points or honor points. For this druid, I'm just gonna quickly gather some honor points for some item level 496 PvP gear. And yes, it's suboptimal, but for now, I'm just looking to replace the remaining green or blue items, which are much weaker than any of the epic PvP gear you can buy here with honor points. And in the meantime, I also queued up for heroic dungeons, because in this stage of Mr. Pandaria, you can buy epic item level 489 gear with justice points, and since you get justice points at a pretty nice rate from doing heroic dungeons, it's definitely worth it if you still want to replace some crappy greens. In this case, I racked up enough justice points to buy the trinket, which was another big upgrade for my little Boomkin. Also during these heroics, I managed to snag an item level 463 staff as well, and gather enough honor points to buy my first epic item level 496 PvP item. So after getting that and after buying the trinket, we have arrived at a much more respectable average item level of 485. Another hub where you can gather a bit of extra honor points is the Grizzly Hills, which yes, is Wrath Lich King content. You can get an extra 200 honor points here per day and an additional 10% honor if your guild has that perk. And since it's Wrath Lich King content, you can mow down all the mobs here without breaking a sweat. And a few days later, here we are with a pretty respectable Boomkin. We jumped from item level 397 to an average item level of 488. Instead of only having 8,303 spell power, we now have a much better 20,733 spell power, and gone are the crappy greens, which have mostly been replaced for some good starter epics. So that's fine and all, but what did all of that do for our DPS? Well, we started this gearing up journey with being able to barely do 18,000 DPS, and now, on average, we're hovering at around 60,000 DPS. So that's well over triple the DPS that we did before. Also, if I put a bit more time in nailing the rotation of Balan Druids in Mr. Pandaria, and I finish up this gear with some gems and enchants, I have no doubt we should be able to touch 70,000 DPS with a bit of luck. And well, that's all for now. From here on out, I will start collecting more and more Valor points. I can start doing the Raid Finder version of Throne of Thunder for some nice item level 502 gear, eventually spend my Valor points on item level 522 gear, and slowly but surely get this Boomy to where it's gonna do some pretty nasty crits. For now though, we have come quite far and I'm happy with the results. We indeed went from a 0 to a hero. And that's all for now. As always, I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm Hamsterwheel and have a good one.